Gator don't play no shit. You feel me?
Is a matter of belief, but we are certain that Satanism exists.
Welcome to That Other Horror Podcast. So many podcasts out there try to be the one and the only. We know we're not that good. We just try to be that other one. And we are dressed up with our 80s gear because we are talking an 80s movie that came out in a 2022. We're talking about a Billy Sadler flick. We're talking creepy ghosts, deranged kids, and what else this movie got?
Summer camp.
A really rapey counselor.
Yeah.
We're talking 2022's She Came from the Woods.
Attention campers,
This is the final call to convene the mess hall for the goodbye ceremony.
let's move! Let's move! Let's move!
Good afternoon, campers! Well, these might be our final moments together this summer at Briarbrook. The fun isn't over yet.
Now we all know the story. 42 years ago, Nurse Agatha gets kicked out of Camp Briarbrook. This eerie calm takes over the forest. Now I know we've all been trying to bring this hag back for years. We prick our finger, hold up to the sky, and scream her name. Agatha! Something horrible has happened. If you can hear me, please meet in the mess hall.
Do you think maybe the ritual thing might have caused...
Lauren, she's not real. There is no Agatha.
She would lure the children from their bunks by night, collecting their blood in jars that she hung from the trees.
I'm telling you, we hunt the hag.
All right, screw it. Let's go.
Here.
Let's try not to die tonight.
It's...
What the hell happened? Hey!
Help!
Hey, buddy!
Help!
Hey, Dr.
It's pizza time!
Hey, man, just keep the car running! People are dead! You kill it!
Do you have the faintest idea what you've done?
I didn't get the picture! What does she want?
The leg!
And Nicole, this was your pick.
Yes.
But just before Nicole gets into telling us all about why she picked this, we're just going to throw our feet back. Tried it again, couldn't do it. And talk about some other stuff we've been watching or maybe some interesting things we've been doing. Nicole, this was your pick. You start us off. What you been watching? What you been up to?
I haven't been up to too much. I've been sick most of the week. But I did go to the movies last Tuesday, and I saw Heart Eyes. If you have not seen this movie, go and see it. I actually wrote a review on Facebook, which I don't do often. This movie, within 5 minutes, this movie reminded me of why I fell in love with slasher flicks. Like it had all the tropes. It had just the right amount of humor. I came out of my seat a few times, great gore, great cast. The only thing I would have improved is Devon Sawa did not get enough screen time. That was the only issue I had because he's fantastic. I love him. But everything about this movie was amazing. So if you haven't seen it, see it.
That is one that probably so far, I know we're only in February, but I'm calling it right now. That is going to be one of the most divisive movies of 2025. I have heard nothing but people shitting on it or praising it to the skies.
I will
I have not heard
praise
anybody
it
in
to
the
the
middle.
skies. It was amazing. Jordana Brewster was in it, and she's probably close to my age. She looks amazing, like amazing.
Why does that name sound familiar?
Um, Fast and the Furious,
Oh, yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
original Fast and the Furious.
Yeah. No, she came back in like part 5 or something.
Okay, I didn't see past the first one, so uh,
Turned your back on family?
yeah, sorry. What else did I watch? Oh, I watched a movie called Grafted, which was really good. I enjoyed it a lot. I did. It's kind of a body horror movie, but which I normally do not like, but the story and the characters were so incredible. I loved it. It's this girl whose father was a scientist and was looking to um basically grow skin like for people with scars or wounds or and he dies, so she continues and she grows up, she's a teenager and she's getting bullied. So what does she do? Gets the bullies and basically puts their skin on her to become another person, to become them.
Oh,
It was good. It really was.
Sounds
like
interesting.
If a Leatherface met a dark man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm down with that.
And that's about it.
Clint, what you got for us?
Well, probably too much to mention, but I survived my Q&A experience. So I did the Q&A for the premiere of the Slasher Nurse with Dave Kerr and the rest of Slasher 15. That actually turned out to be really cool. And I wanted to thank you guys and a lot of my other friends for being really supportive and being like, you're going to be fine. Yeah, because honestly, a week and a half leading up to this thing, I had like the most horrible anxiety I can recall in my lifetime.
Couldn't tell.
Oh my God. It's like, and the day of, I almost messaged the guy and said, I'm not sure I could do this. I didn't do that. I went down there and I was like, you got to face your fear sometimes. So, but I seriously had like a pain in my arm. I was like, am I having a fucking heart attack right now? Like I was seriously fucked up over this. But thankfully, I calmed down right before it took place, and I feel like it went really well. So I saw the Slasher Nurse, and dude, I cannot wait for this to come out on DVD. I would love to share this with you guys because it's the effects were incredible. Like if you saw their Indiegogo campaign, I can't remember how much they got for like general production, but it was somewhere in the neighborhood of like $70,000. And Slasher 15 is one of those places that their promise to their contributors is that they will put every dollar back into the movie. So like every step along the way, they were like, okay, we hit this goal, we're going to get better locations. We hit this goal, we're going to do better effects. We're going to go way over the top. We hit this goal, we're going to add another celebrity. So, I mean, they had Beverly Randolph was in there. They had Felissa Rose in there. They had Brian Bremer in there. Jim Crut was in there. So, I mean, it's like they did go all out. The edit on this movie was fantastic. Like I said, I can't wait for you guys to be able to see this. But anyhow, beyond that, I watched a surprisingly awesome Jean-Claude Van Damme movie that I had forgotten about for a little while. I was actually going to watch Speed, but I was like looking through all the selections on our secret server, and I found I was like, oh shit, Sudden Death. I haven't seen that in forever. And it's like Die Hard at a hockey game, man. It was just it was so cool. There's this scene where Jean-Claude he's like this fire marshal security guard type, you know what I mean, for the ice hockey rink. And he has this fight scene with a person who is wearing the Penguin mascot suit. It is fucking hilarious. And if you watch it for No other reason. Watch it for that. I ended up finishing Stranger Things. Not Stranger Things. Jesus Christ. I wasn't watching that. Squid Game. I finished watching Squid Game. So cool show. I may in fact go back and watch it all over again because there's a lot of stuff that I feel like I would need to see again. And then just to top it off, I watched a really crappy sci-fi movie called TC 2000. If you've not seen it, maybe give it a one watch. The star of this movie, maybe you'll recognize his name, was none other than Billy Blanks. And if you don't know who that is,
drawing a blank on Billy Blanks.
I almost said Taekwondo. No, he does the.
He did the Taibo videos.
Taibo, that's it.
Taibo. But I looked him up. He's got like 45 acting credits.
Wow.
It's like, holy shit.
Are
it's like
43 of them Taibo videos?
Well, two of them are. At least two of them are. But like usually it's like he's an extra of some sort. So like, oh, he's a dance club dancer, or he's like a security guard or something like that. Like he gets like little tiny roles. But this one, he's like in your face up front. He's one of the main characters, and he's actually pretty good. The movie sucked. And there was like a lame martial arts fight scene literally every 5 minutes. So like, maybe give it a once over, see what you think of it. But that's what I got.
All right. Good selection. I haven't been up to anything. I've been on call nonstop since I got back to work. So I literally just sit at home next to my phone and wait. But I have watched a couple of movies while I've been waiting. And the first one, I apologize. I'm not picking my nose. I tousled up my hair, and it's just long enough that it's tickling my nostril. So I keep trying to fiddle with it and get it out of the way. But anyway, I've watched a couple things. The one thing I did watch that Nicole was really excited about back in a couple episodes ago was Flight Risk.
Oh.
Not was intentional. It was not as good as I was anticipating it to be. This is where I'd messaged you guys. It didn't pass what I call the speed test. So in the movie Speed, Sandra Bullock drives a bus with no experience driving a bus before.
Mm-hmm.
We're okay with this. We don't really question it. The bus, at one point in the movie, gains the ability of flight and jumps over a giant gap in the highway. Again, us as the audience, we're not really questioning it. We're along for the ride. The movie ends with two gentlemen fighting on top of a high-speed subway train without clearly any wind resistance. That ends with said subway flying into the middle of downtown, I think it was Los Angeles, with no injuries to any of our surviving characters. We don't question it. Mm-hmm. I questioned a lot of things in Flight Risk. There's a couple of moments with the plane that gets a little hectic. I questioned all those about the logistics of would the plane even still be in the air at this point. I questioned why they chose to leave this clearly insane man just in the back of the plane. Nobody kept their eye on him. Like, the whole premise of this movie relies on the stupidity of our two main characters and their complete disregard for their own personal well-being. So unfortunately that took me out of the movie a lot. But you're absolutely right, Nicole. Topher Grace was easily the highlight of the film.
He's so great. He can do anything. He comedic, villain, whatever. He really is very versatile.
Yeah. I'll argue it to this day. I thought he did a really good job as Venom in Spider-Man 3.
I agree 100%.
But yeah, he was the best part about this movie that otherwise Jen watched it with me too. And it's a good for a one and done, I guess we'll say. It's a good one and done.
Movie.
Yeah. But yeah,
and Mark Wahlberg is a villain. I've never seen him as a villain.
Oh, that's the other thing. So it's no surprise by now. Everybody knows it because it's like the big talking point of the movie. Mark Wahlberg shaved his head or some shit for this.
Yeah.
Because he normally has like just as much hair as me. And he's bald in it.
Mm-hmm.
And the movie treats that like it's some kind of big reveal. Like when he pulls the hat off and there's the hairpiece stuck to the hat. And they're all like, oh, and I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, wait, why does this fucking matter? They didn't know who he was with hair. They didn't know who he was without hair. It's literally just there for the shock value. It's like a fourth wall break. It's like, here's Mark Wahlberg. Oh, he has no hair. That's all it's there for. It does not interact with the plot of the movie one bit.
But you have to admit that cuff scene was pretty good.
Oh God, the cuff scene.
Yeah.
Jump ahead 30 seconds if you don't want spoilers. I don't like degloving. And this movie has a particular nasty degloving scene.
Very graphic degloving scene. Yeah.
That lingers.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm going to enjoy this. And he just...
This is where you can tell it's done by the same guy who did The Passion of the Christ. The other thing I just watched it this morning, actually. It's been on my list forever, but I finally watched Maxine. And I loved it.
Yeah.
I did not love it as much as Pearl.
Okay.
I loved it way more than X. Because I didn't care for X. I was kind of forced to watch, not forced, but like kind of chirped to watch Pearl. And I'm thrilled I did because I absolutely love Pearl. It's one of my favorite horror movies of all time. Mm-hmm. And Maxine is a really solid movie too. I do like how Ty West has made this trilogy so every movie's different. So like with X, you have like your standard slasher. With Pearl, you have more of a character study, psychological kind of horror thing going on. Very personal movie. And with Maxine, you've got almost like a 80s crime thriller. Like I was getting Manhunter vibes from this thing.
Mm-hmm.
So it was, a lot of fun. And Mia Goth can do no wrong.
She's such an incredible actress. Incredible actress.
She's funny. She can cry on command, clearly.
Oh, yeah.
She does it several times in this franchise.
Yep.
But no, she's just, she commands a room when she starts performing. Mm-hmm. And she is the linchpin to this entire trilogy.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's about it for me.
She really is a star.
She really is a star. She's a fucking star. But yeah, that's about it for me. So without further ado, we're going to jump into 2022's She Came from the Woods. Nicole, your pick. Why'd you do this?
One guess. No, that is the primary reason. It is a William Sadler movie. And y'all know how I feel about that. And it's a classic 80s style summer camp killer on the loose, though it's not a typical killer, but it's just so much fun. It's so much fun. And like, like Hard Eyes, it has like the perfect amount of humor. I laughed just as much as I was grossed out, summer camp, family owned summer camp, last day of camp. And the kids are on a bus on their way home, counselors around a fire, and they do this ritual to conjure the urban legend of Agatha, who was the nurse in this camp, and they bring her back.
They sure do.
Let the chaos ensue,
Fucking white people.
Yeah.
White people.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to jump right in with my biggest complaint about this movie. The ritual. So Peter does this ritual to bring back Agatha.
Yeah.
Peter's entire fucking family knows she's real and that she does this witchcraft. And they give him shit for performing the ritual and bringing her back. Meanwhile, none of these fuckers told Peter that she was real. He was the only one in the family that did not know. His grandpa knew, his mother knew, his brother knew. And then the brother has the audacity when he's like, you should have told me. And the brother's like, I said, let it die. What the fuck does that mean? I mean, how about instead of let it die, say, hey, bro, she's real. You're going to start some shit if you do this. Like end of the world shit. Sorry to interrupt. Go ahead.
No, you're fine. You're fine. I think one of the reasons they didn't tell him is because he was the irresponsible one of the family.
That
He
worked
was
out
the
well for
class
them.
clown. He was, always getting into trouble and never having any consequences. That's probably why they didn't tell him, because they thought, well, he might be stupid enough to do it and really try to bring her back just to see if it's real. And sure enough, yeah.
Now, he does kind of let on that if he had known, he probably wouldn't have done it.
Yeah, he
No,
did give
no.
them shit for like, hey, do you think you could have told me at some point? Like maybe I wouldn't have done it.
But then we wouldn't have a movie,
That's right.
Yes.
and we wouldn't have had Sadler.
Well, no,
looking
Sadler.
so
I'm
good
just
and
saying it would have
acting
been better. It would have been better maybe if just Sadler was the only one who knew.
Probably.
Don't make it like everybody at the family reunion knows that this woman is
but
real.
they didn't know the story behind her and what happened with him.
This
and
is
her.
true. Yeah.
That was the whole fireplace, scene.
The shadow puppet scene.
The shadow puppet.
But yeah.
Yeah.
Clint, you got any talking points you want to throw out there?
Basically, I love the kids in this.
Yes.
Like they are the most foul-mouthed little brats that I can possibly think of. They had so many good lines. Like one kid walking around with crutches, you know what I mean? And the one guy's trying to hurry him up, and he's like, "Really?"
Yeah.
And he's like, "Lick my balls, dick face," and like. And the other guy said, "Oh, you think your mom and dad would love hearing you talk like that?" He's like, "I have two dads, asshole."
That line fucking killed me.
Because for 1987, that was unheard of.
Yeah.
There were no gay parents in 1987.
Two dads, asshole. Yeah, the kids easily were like the highlight of the movie for me. Like, and like you mentioned with their dialogue, like that is camp dialogue. Like kids swear like fucking sailors when the parents aren't around, and they captured that perfectly. Everything about those kids was great. That's my other thing I want to bring up. What happened to them? Like, I know they all got locked in the basement because they were eating like poor Mike there. Was it Mike? I think it was Mike. Anyway, bandana guy. They were eating him because Dylan fucking drop kicked him back into the basement. But what happens to them after that?
I would imagine once they get rid of Agatha, they go back to normal.
But we didn't get that resolution, did we?
No, we did not. No.
Okay.
They never
we
let us
didn't.
know what happened.
So when this movie ends, they're still in the basement.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. They're like
far as we
Schrodinger's
know.
kids.
Yeah.
We don't know if they're still the hellspawn of Satan or if they're actual kids again.
Yeah.
Camp kids kind of already are hellspawns, but you know what I mean. They're not eating people anymore.
Right.
And yes, the kid with the crutches was priceless. When they're watching the play and Danny's sitting there and they're teasing him about, making a move on this girl, the kid on crutches turns around and stop being such a pussy.
Yeah.
Just do it
He's
already.
Like, grow a pair, pussy.
Yeah. And Dylan with the bottle and the paper bag. It's bug juice, right?
Yeah.
I want a swig.
Yeah. And I do want to compliment this movie on something else. I know that we learned that this takes place in 1987. For the most part, it's in the description of the movie, but they never at any point come out and say it.
Right.
But they did a really artful way of letting you know, like if you're paying attention, you can figure it out because they have Sadler in the beginning talking at the end of the little play that got put on, and how he'd been wearing that ring around his neck for the last 42 years, and then later on, whenever the other person is looking through the attic for something, she comes across these old medical records, and I think it was 1945 on the medical records, and they indicated a little later on that was the first season. So like you do the math on it and you end up with 1987. And I thought it was really cool that they didn't just come out and tell you that or give you a little blurb up on the screen. Oh, summer camp 1987. You know what I mean? So that was kind of cool.
It was also with the sets. They did that a lot with the, the phone on the wall. Like we never saw a cell phone. There was no mention of anything like that. No technology, nothing, Can't you call? No, that was the only phone. And it just blew up on my ear,
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got a pay phone with one of the sons.
Yeah.
That was cool. Sadler's desk phone was like one of the oldest phones I'd ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
He's like,
it's were accurate as well.
Yeah. He's like, it's after 9 p.m. This better be good.
Yeah. That's how I am now.
yeah, exactly. And I do also want to pick on the ritual scene. It's like, I don't know why they chose to do a finger pricking thing and screaming her name into the night. Like that didn't really seem like much of a ritual to me. I don't know what I was really expecting. And did he really expect it to work? You know what I mean? Because like he was making this big show of it. He's like really theatrical about it, but he was at the same time really serious about it. Then you get like the Dylan guy jump out to do like a little jump scare on everybody. So like, was it intended to just be a prank?
Yeah. It was supposed to just be a prank.
Okay.
Because they had established earlier that like they usually do this prank at the end of every year, but it was getting stale because they always do the same thing. So his idea was to change it up with this finger prick thing, and which is again why he was taking it so seriously, because he was like, "No, guys, I figured it out. This is the real,
the
ritual,
real way to do it." Okay.
In fact, I guess it just happened to be.
And with what Agatha did with the kids, like didn't they? I can't remember. It was like bloodletting or something.
Yes, that's
with
why
the
we had the
kids.
jars hanging from the trees.
Yeah, so they were pricking their fingers and letting the blood out, and
Yeah.
Okay.
And that was a really great visual. Those blood jars hanging from the tree.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely have no complaints with Agatha as a villain. It's a cool idea. I love that she's just like, got her little minions with the kids, and she's always just off to the side. I thought it was really cool that the people who had participated in the ritual could see her, but people who hadn't couldn't.
Yeah. I enjoyed that.
That was cool.
That did bring me to another issue I had, though. Oh, that's right. So she has her minions. She has the kids. Why did Danny go evil?
I think that was just he had been teased so much about this girl, and then she turned him down, and he just snapped. Like he really thought he had a chance, and
he kind of seemed possessed, though.
Kind of, yeah.
His eyes looked weird. Didn't they?
Yeah.
But that was out of the blue.
I was kind of waiting for other people to get. Yeah, that shocked the hell out of me.
Whacked her head open.
Oh, and then like a split second, it looked like he threw her on the fire.
Yeah, it did.
I think he did. He threw her on the coals or the embers.
You hear this little crackling sound, probably as her hair was going up.
Mm-hmm. All the hairspray, like
yeah. There should have been a fireball.
An explosion.
Yeah, that was rough, man. Danny went psycho. I mean, Kelly did not deserve that shit.
No,
she was well within her rights to be like,
no,
hey, no, don't kiss me. I don't want that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Kelly, poor Kelly. That is another critique I have with it. I promise I don't hate the movie as much as it seems. The notes I took were the problems I had with it. I didn't take any of the positives because I figured you guys would be mentioning them, and I join in. But tonally, I know you were saying you were laughing one second, and genuinely scared the next. I feel this movie doesn't do a very good job of knowing what lane to stay in, if that makes sense. Like, I know there's plenty of funny movies out there that have genuinely tense and scary moments, but to go from a couple of yucks to this poor girl getting bludgeoned to death by a rock, followed by another gentleman clearly having a complete mental and emotional breakdown over the fact that he just had to murder his friend because they couldn't stop him from killing this girl. And then to go play a joke again, I'm just kind of like, let me recover, movie, please. I feel bad for laughing when this just happened. Okay, I guess I can laugh again. Oh no, you've tied that poor boy to a tree and are now torturing him. And you're closeted gay, I guess. Everything Dylan did was
horrible. Yeah.
Ick. He's such a skis ball, just constantly borderline, like, and he's like 30.
Yeah. He was probably one of my favorite characters, but that's only because he was so in your face and I hated him so much. Like, and his haircut was terrible. I mean, it looked way better on Kiefer Sutherland in The Lost Boys. You know what I mean?
Blonde tipped mullet.
Yeah. He was just so fucking awful. Like every step of the way, it didn't matter what happened. He found the worst possible way to react to it. Or the worst possible way to speak to another person. Or, there was a chance that, Mike was going to make it up the stairs and he's like, he's done for it. Kicks him down the steps.
He's not going to make it.
He's not going to make it.
Feed him to the kids. I let out a shriek of laughter when he did that. I'm sorry. I know his character was so awful, but that was funny.
And what the hell was in the bug juice anyway?
See, that's the problem. I didn't know if I was supposed to laugh or not.
What was that, Clint?
So what the hell was in the bug juice anyway? He,
I don't know.
Was drinking out of the canteen, and like some kid wanted to swig out of the canteen, right? And he's like, I don't know. And he's like, come on, I'm so thirsty. My blood sugar's off. He's like, oh, Jesus Christ, fine. He goes to hand it to him. And then Sadler steps and takes it. And he takes a swig of it. And he's like, you're pushing 30. It's time to change the bug juice recipe.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's like, I'm like, I feel like he was drinking alcohol, but they never really spelled that out.
No, they didn't. We would assume that he was.
Yeah. It was 1987. I mean, a 30-year-old counselor giving a small child alcohol would
Nobody would bat an eye.
Blip on the radar.
Questioned.
Yep.
Yeah. Nobody cared.
Unreal.
That's our introduction to Sadler, though, I think,
Yeah,
when he takes the bug juice canteen. Let me tell you, this movie, man, everybody else is given like Friday the 13th Part 1 vibes with their acting chops. And then there's Bill Sadler, who just walks in and was like, I was in shock. He is on a whole nother level.
On a whole nother level.
Oh, yeah.
I
kind of got Jurassic Park vibes. Like the old man,
yes.
With the cane with like the amber on the top of it.
Yeah.
Because he had the cane and then he was speaking almost with kind of like an English inflection in his
he
speech.
had like a New England type, not Boston, but like a upstate New York,
Yeah. And he knew the words to taps.
And he was doing
this kind of crazy.
Was that the words to taps? Okay, I thought it was maybe just a song he made up for the camp. I didn't even know taps had words.
I mean, you can find them, but I mean, you never hear it. All you ever hear is somebody playing it on a bugle.
Right.
Yeah, no, that's why I just assumed it would never.
And that kid sucked at the
words.
bugle. I'm not a big bugle fan.
That kid was trying his best. Come on.
In real life, Sadler can sing. He really can. He's very musical.
I got that impression from hearing him do it there. Yeah,
he still does concerts every now and then, and
I do appreciate that he matched the tone, even when it was out of tune. he would change
He
his
changed
so
his
that it
pitch,
matched
yeah.
the bugle.
Yeah.
Other than Sadler, the two characters that I love the most in this were I can't remember it was Ben and the girl
Yeah.
he was always hanging out with. I can't remember her name, but those two were fantastic. She unfortunately doesn't. That's the other thing in this movie too. I could not put a pin on who was going to die because she just bites it randomly because she trips. And then I'm like, well, I guess she's not in the movie anymore because I was fully expecting like this is Dylan's gonna redeem himself and run back and grab her. Nope, they just watch her get eaten. And cutting towards the end of the movie, Peter just fucking dies.
Yeah.
Who's the main character in this?
Sadler. No,
it's
not
because he's not even he's practically not
There,
in the first half.
I think the main character is the family. Like every one of them is a main character.
Mm-hmm.
I guess, but we're following Peter throughout this whole damn movie, and then he
Nope.
doesn't even make it to the finale.
That was a good surprise because the first time I saw this, I was expecting him to live. I really was,
I had to rewind it. I was like, nah, it must have been someone else.
They killed him.
Nope.
And
Peter.
I have to say, I love the way Dylan died. I was hysterical watching him when the little kid had the cigarette. The bug juice kid. Just and that doesn't even kill him. They put the fire out and he's just laying there half burnt. And he had no redemption at all.
That was a good firewalk.
He died an asshole.
He took his last few moments to touch the girl's boob.
Yeah. Yeah.
And again, see, if he had been like comically mischievous, like I would have been like, okay, haha. But because he's literally like
the worst
rapist,
human being on the planet. Yeah.
I was just like, oh my god, that's fucking disgusting. And then she crushes his head with
it. That was great.
With the fire extinguisher, which was fantastic. The gore in this is all over the place. I love it.
And it's all practical, Even Agatha we see her practical, It's great.
Did you guys know? Because a lot of things I mentioned in this movie, like we have characters that kind of seem to do things without any real rhyme or reason. We have plot points that seem to be glossed over or completely forgotten about. That is a running theme with movies like this. And the reason I say movies like this is because this is a movie that was based off of a short film. And I did some research on it. I can't find the short film anywhere, unfortunately. But this movie originally came out 5 years prior, I think.
Okay.
And it was a 12-minute movie.
What was it?
But the basic plot remains the same.
Oh.
Same title, because I was confused at first. But yeah, same title. She Came from the Woods. And it was an award-winning short film. Same director. He directed it with his brother. Carson. It's Eric Bloomquist and Carson Bloomquist are credited as the writers for this. They were both the directors of the short film, but it's just Eric marked here, so I don't know what went on there. But I do find that's a problem when you deal with these movies that are based upon a short film. It works great for a 12-minute movie, but once you realize, oh crap, I got to get 90 minutes out of this. Some of these really tightly made scenarios, you can start to see cracks in the seams. What's that? Lights Out. Do you guys remember the movie Lights Out from like 5, maybe 10 years ago? Again, based off of a short film. A lot of weird little plot points that don't seem to go anywhere, but keeping the spirit alive of that original short. And I'd be very curious to see the short film.
I would too. I would love to see it.
It does not have Sadler.
If it did, I would have seen it. I would love to see the original short film. I think that would be great.
Yeah, I'd give it a go. Definitely. I mean, 12 minutes. I got 12 minutes.
Yeah, what do you go? I'm in the bathroom longer than 12 minutes usually.
Perfect time to watch it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I'm gonna throw out a favorite scene.
Mhm.
I'm gonna say the bus scene.
Yeah.
I really thought that was a cool way to show the kids become possessed.
Mm-hmm.
Like we got this, lame story about trying to fix the bus and it overheating, but it's still got a few miles left in it. The son tries to drive the kids to whatever destination to, I don't know, get picked up by their parents or something.
Yeah.
I was a little unclear on the bus. Like there must have been like a rendezvous point he was trying to get them to. Breaks down. They're being noisy as hell. He's stressing the hell out and like just over it. And it's like, can you guys just like, be quiet for a few minutes? And like they're like, yeah, good luck with that. And then he just like puts his head in his hand, and then suddenly it's just dead silent. And he's like, what the fuck? Turns around, they're just all like staring straight forward, not doing anything. And he's like, huh? You guys all right? And he gets out for some other reason and then realizes they're not at the bus anymore. Like they slipped away from him without him even realizing it. So he starts freaking out and like running through the cornfield trying to catch up with these kids. So I was like, it almost didn't need to be there. And I did have kind of a complaint that this was an hour and 41 minutes.
40 minutes,
because I really feel like it could have been tightened up a little bit, but like I would have left the scene in if I was re-editing this movie. I love
it's such
scene. It's great.
Everything with the kids is phenomenal. Like that scene where Ben and Ashley are walking through the woods and you see the kids darting in the trees behind them. Creepy as fuck. The one time I did laugh at something Dylan did was when he rips a kid off of himself, throws the kid on the ground, and then gives it like the people's elbow. Or
like
does he kick it or something?
Yeah,
that made me laugh. Yeah, that's right. He curb stomped him. He curb stomped him. I wish the movie had more of that, and that's why I was asking about what happened to the kids, because that's gold. I love seeing the evil kids running around, and just if we had gotten a little zanier with it, like have them try to jump through windows and have people toss them back out. Like, because again, at the end of the day, they're kids, right? So as long as they don't, it's that question: how many children would it take before they overpower you? As long as you only got one or two on you, you can grab them.
But if you're getting kicked down the stairs into a pile of them, you know.
Right.
Exactly. You're
I do love the bus scene very much. I mean, in the time it took him to lift the hood, realize it's overheating, and then look around, the bus is empty. I thought that was creepy as hell.
Yeah. And
I guess that's one of our main characters, Dylan. Yeah. The guy that's in the movie for, I think, 8 minutes combined.
What do you guys think about Agatha's makeup?
Loved it.
She was creepy as fuck from a distance.
Yeah.
When we got up close, I was a little less impressed with it. But it was like I legit felt kind of my hair stand up a little bit when she had like the one girl from the back and was like staring at, out over her shoulder, ready to like cut her throat or something. I was like, okay, yeah, that's creepy as fuck.
Or that other scene where the kid's running back into the woods and you see Agatha peek out behind the tree and so she can help lead the kid into the forest.
Yeah.
It's good stuff.
Yeah. And again, practical makeup, no CGI, no nothing. I loved it.
Yep. I think the only CGI in the movie is Sadler's death. And it's honestly pretty solid CGI.
It absolutely was.
It kept with the tone with the rest of the movie. Like I wasn't thrown out by it or anything. It just looked like a solid goopy goop headshot.
Bury me at Briarbrook. I love it.
Legend.
I wonder if they did. I know.
We
don't know.
We don't even know what happened to the kids. We're not going to find out what happens to Bill Sadler. This movie's an hour and 40 minutes, and you can't resolve.
Show the funeral at the end,
questions.
like something.
Yeah, show the kids getting out of the basement. I don't know.
Yeah. Instead, we get a scene with a scared cop who hijacks a pizza delivery car.
Oh my God, that was great. When he just bolted and just left everybody there. Like, you're a
He's like, I'm not
cop.
going through this again.
Yeah. You're a police officer. You're supposed to help. Nope. I'm hijacking the pizza guy's car and I'm
Yeah.
out.
Arrest the pizza guy for no reason.
Yeah.
I think that was clearly just an excuse to get out of there. He's like, no, I'm doing important work here. We've got to take this pizza
Yeah.
guy, into
Well,
the
he was one of the
slammer.
kids,
Did you notice the phone number for the pizza company?
No.
Yeah.
420-6969 420-6969.
I never caught that.
Like, that's what I mean. Pick a Lane movie and stay in it, please. I get, you know what? I think Claire is supposed to be the main character. Peter's girlfriend.
Lauren?
Okay.
Was it
I think her
Lauren?
name's Lauren.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. I'm reading the actress's name. Claire Foley is the actress. She plays Lauren Davis. Lauren, I think, is supposed to be the main character.
Yeah.
But I can also see what
because they do
you were saying, where it's very difficult to determine who the focal point is of the movie.
Because when Peter does die, like they make a very big deal of showing that she's holding his hand right up until the end, and then she kind of gets up and is like, "Okay, let's go." Like it's almost like
now it's personal.
Yeah, like you've
yeah,
exactly, yeah. Like, and we're kind of passing the torch. This is like the Janet Leigh thing in Psycho, except instead of in the first 35 minutes, it's in the first hour and 25 minutes.
Definitely.
Yeah. This is so tricky to talk about these movies because there's not a lot of history behind it because it's such an unknown project. Like it's a Tubi original that had a very, very limited theatrical run. And it's done on purpose. It's just a generic, and I don't use that word in a negative sense, but it is a very by the books camp slasher with a few twists here and there. And it's intentionally done like that. This movie didn't want to be anything more than a fun 80s camp slasher,
which I love.
And I do feel, for the most part, it does succeed. I know I felt like I've been shitting on the movie the entire time, but I did enjoy myself. Like I did enjoy watching it.
It was, it had all the classic tropes, it had every character was, they had the class clown, the virgin, the jock, the nerd, the asshole, the slut.
Was Danny a virgin? Is that why he changed? Was Danny a virgin? Was that why he got possessed?
I think maybe Dylan was.
He didn't get possessed though. That gets rid of that. Because I was thinking it's all the kids, right? And then if Danny got possessed too, they'd be like, oh, because Danny's, because he was pining over the one girl and everything. So maybe it just turns out Danny was a virgin or something.
I don't know.
But
I don't know.
I don't know. I guess we'll never know because the movie, again, doesn't tell us why Danny was possessed. Or like Nicole said, maybe he's just an asshole.
Could be.
It doesn't seem like that. Like it really seems like
something happened to him too. Yeah.
Something happened, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Do you guys got anything else, or should we jump into the ratings? I think
I did too.
Did we talk about Sadler enough? Do we want to talk about Sadler some more?
Oh, but you can never talk about Sadler enough. Come on.
This was entirely his fault.
Oh, completely. Absolutely. There's no question about that. He is responsible for all of it. But there were, one of the things I wrote at the end was when Agatha comes back and he looks at her and he goes, I can see you're angry. I lost it. It was great. He's just, he's a legend.
But it is right. It is all his fault because he boned the witch.
Yes. While his
That's
wife was
right.
dying. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And it's like you would think that after all of that, his wife gets poisoned. He bangs a witch, freaks out when his daughter is targeted, and like part of the bloodletting thing. Tracks this bitch down, kills her, buries her in the lowest point of Briarbrook.
Yeah.
To put her closer to hell. Isn't this enough to sell the fucking camp and get out of there?
Right.
He's like, nah, I'm going to continue to live my dream.
For 42 years.
Having a camp. Bitch is dead,
Yeah.
Let's
Nothing
do
wrong
this.
unless somebody does the ritual, but that'll never happen.
That's right.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it did take 42 years. So, and he was just 1 year short because he was going to retire.
Yep.
Could have sold it. Never had to worry about it. Fucking Peter.
Peter, yeah. Stupid little idiot.
They should have told Peter. That's all I'm saying.
I know.
They should have told him.
Really quick, forgive me, I have to say, I love him with the shaggy hair. I do. He looks so good with the shaggy hair. He really does.
Got a bit of a Gandalf thing
like
going
that.
on. Like a wizard thing.
Yeah, a little bit.
Sadler does rock a shaggy hair.
Yes, he does.
Some people can't pull it off. Sadler can.
Well, you know how I feel about that. He could be in a potato sack completely bald.
I was going to say that naked shot of Sadler is going to be in this episode so many goddamn times.
Yeah.
All right, Nicole, this was your pick. So why don't you start us off? Out of 10, what are we giving She Came from the Woods?
Out of 10, I have to say, this is one of my more recent favorite movies. It's classic, just classic 80s everything. I love all the characters. I love the kills. The kids were great. I loved that Dylan did not get redeemed at all. I love that, most of the time the asshole characters have this one final moment before they die where they turn good. He didn't. He just died an asshole. It was great. Like you said, the only thing I really didn't like was we don't find out what happened to the kids. Like, they're just in the basement. Do they get better? Do they die? So because of that, I'm going to take a little off, but I'm giving this movie a 9.0.
9.0?
Yep.
All right. Clint, you giving it a 9.0?
Not quite, but I don't have the William Sadler blinders on. So it's although he was great. Definitely one of the highlights of the movie. There's a lot of things I loved about this. It had that great 80s slasher quality, summer camp trope. You know what I mean? It's like, how do you not like that? You had a lot of good humor mixed in with some really nasty looking effects. I mean, the story was a little thin, but I mean, a lot of them were. You know what I mean? So that's not out of the ordinary. Like, I'm expecting some amazing story, for something that takes place in the 80s. They were all thin stories. Yeah. So I did just give it a lot of high marks. And I feel like I ranked this one pretty high considering, what type of movie it was. I thought it was great. I'd definitely watch it again. And I would certainly recommend it to other people. I did a 21 out of 30. Gave it a 70%. That is a 7 out of 10.
7 out of 10.
Solid.
I'm not going to give it a 7 out of 10.
I would never expect it.
I did not. I feel bad. I've heard this in other podcasts too, where somebody is just like shitting on the movie and you have to assume they absolutely hate it. And then they get to the review spot and they're like, well, I know I've been shitting on it, but I'm now one of them because I did not hate this movie. I did enjoy my time watching it. I watched it a second time and I was still entertained the second time. This movie does have some very glaring issues. It's too long, and somehow, even though it's too long, it doesn't explain what it needs to explain. So again, this all could be from the fact that it was based off of a short film, but I don't know. I didn't get to see the short film. Maybe that's short film's just the 12 minutes explaining what happened to the kids. I don't know. I Overall, though, I did enjoy myself. I would probably recommend it to people who like, dumb camp slashers. Oh, that's the other complaint I have. I know a movie can be funny and upsetting. This movie, I felt, didn't handle it quite right. I was genuinely upset in a couple of scenes, and to the point where I wasn't sure if I was supposed to be laughing anymore. But yeah, I'm still gonna give it. It's still an above average movie, so I'm gonna give it a 6.5 out of 10.
I'll take that.
It's respectable.
Yeah.
All right, we're just gonna quickly before whose turn is it next week to pick a movie?
I don't know.
What did we do before this one?
What did we do? Did we do Lord of Illusions for this one?
I feel like we did.
Fuck, it's my turn again. Shit. Okay. I'll try to think of a movie while we play that other Rotten Tomatoes game. So many podcasts out there play the Rotten Tomatoes game. We just are stealing their idea and doing the exact same thing we're doing. Rotten Tomatoes, 26 critic reviews for this movie. Nicole, this was your pick. You get to go first. What percentage of those 26 critics enjoyed She Came from the Woods?
100%.
100% from Nicole. Clint?
Go a little lower. I'll go 80%.
80% from Clint. Clint, you went in the right direction. Although this movie, you know what? 73%. This movie is certified fresh.
Yes.
And
it was just slept on. I hate that it did not get exposure like it should have.
No, the critics very much did enjoy themselves. She Came from the Woods. Holy jeez, this is surprising. So, the popcorn meter, and the thing that's surprising about it is there are fewer than 50 ratings from users.
Really?
So, Joe Blow Public, there are less than 50 people who took the time to rate this movie. Now, that does say verified ratings. I know that Rotten Tomatoes has this weird thing where if a movie's too new, you can't just review the movie. You have to show proof, like a barcode from a ticket stub or something.
Mm-hmm.
But this movie came to streaming. How the fuck are you supposed to verify? I don't know. But anyway, it says fewer than 50 verified ratings. Clint, you can go first this time. Out of 100%, how many people enjoyed She Came from the Woods?
55%.
55% from Clint. Nicole?
100%.
100%. Well, Clint's in the right direction again. Guys, it's 26.
Get out of here.
26%.
People fucking hated this movie.
Really?
It was.
Wow.
I know
these people.
I don't. Well, there's fewer than 50 of them, so I mean, you could probably.
I could do it.
Yeah.
I could travel around and smack every one of them. Yeah.
This podcast just took a. The other hosts of that other horror podcast do not condone the, or not. Well, no, we do condone.
My opinions and actions do not reflect the.
Thank you. Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. Nicole's opinions and actions do not reflect the other hosts of that other horror podcast.
No.
So many podcasts out there have one host that winds up in jail for something. We got that too. All right. So yeah, I'm surprised. That's the most divisive movie I think we've done so far. And I don't think this movie deserves a 26%.
No.
That's ridiculous. Remember that so many podcasts out there try to be the one and the only. We don't even fucking try. We're just that other one. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.